All right, we have all of our lines drawn. Now we need to take this sketch, we're gonna rename it so we know which sketch is the important one. And then we're gonna export this as a file type called a DXF file type. And then we're gonna open it in a separate program and do some editing to it to get it ready for the laser. So we're really close to being able to cut some stuff. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is open our sketch folder over here. Go down to the last sketch you made, which should be this sketch. And we're gonna click on it and we're gonna rename it pencil case DXF. Enter. And then we're going to right click on that we just renamed, and we're going to do save as DXF in there. So again, I right clicked on pencil case and said save as DXF. You're going to search around for your E&R 8B or whatever number computer you're on. You're looking for that thumb drive. If you don't have a folder in it already, make a folder with your name on it, and in that folder you're going to save this file. I'm actually going to save mine into my stuff. So Fusion 360 pencil case. Actually, I'll need a new folder. I'll just delete that. I'm going to save it right here, and I'm going to call this again pencil case DXF. Put that DXF on there so you know what file type it is when you're doing it. So I'm going to hit save there. And now I should be done with my Fusion 360 work. So I'm going to come back down and do a search. I'm searching for Ink, I-N-K-S-C-A-P-E, Inkscape app. So do a search for that. Once you find it, it's got like a little mountain that looks like spilled ink underneath it. Click on that to open it, and Inkscape will open. And to free up a little effort on your computer, go ahead and save your Fusion file. So Control S for save, click OK, and then you can close Fusion out. And Inkscape is open, and it looks like this. Yours may not be a checkered background. I'm going to turn my checkered background off right away. If yours is checkered, I'd recommend it. It's so distracting to have the checkers in the background. To do that, I'm going to go here to File, and then Document Properties. Do this with me because there's a few other settings we're going to change. On the width, we need to do, this is a width of a piece of paper. We want the width of the entire laser cutter, and that's going to be a width of 600 millimeters, which is about 2 feet. And then tab down to the height and do 300 for the height, and enter. And then here, I'm going to turn my checkerboard off, and it looks so much nicer this way. And then I'm just go ahead and X out of that menu, and everything's ready to go. To zoom in and out in this program, you're going to hold down the control button and roll the mouse wheel in and out to zoom. To move from left to right, you're going to click down on the mouse wheel like it's a button, and you're just going to drag it left and right, and that'll move you left and right. Now, something that I do all the time is if you're holding control and you press down the mouse wheel and move it, it will, oh, it didn't do it. It used to do it. Nice. It used to rotate the whole thing around in a circle, and it was so confusing. So I'm glad it doesn't do that anymore. So ignore what I was just going to tell you. If you do get the paper on the screen to, like, if it rotates on you on accident somehow, let me know. I'll show you how to fix that. It's right down here in the lower right, but let me know and I'll show you how to fix it. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to import that DXF file. So I'm going to go File here, Import. I'm going to go find that. You're looking for the E, so you're going to probably look for this PC, and you're looking for the one called E&R, whatever, 8B or whatever. So find that, open it up. I'm going to find mine. One Fusion pencil case DXF. Awesome. And on this screen, you might get a screen before this. Just go past that screen and just leave the settings alone. When you get to this, make sure it says manual scale here and a manual scale factor of 1. This determines how much bigger it makes it than what it was in Fusion. We want it to be the same scale factor, so times 1 will keep it the same. I'm going to click OK. And that's going to bring in that huge drawing in for us. You'll see what it looks like in just a second. So that's not a good sign, but let's click OK there. If yours is the same thing, click OK. I think we'll be okay. Yep, that looks like it's about the right size. I think everything's okay. Now, what we need to do is our laser cuts any lines that are red. It cuts them at full power and cuts them slowly and cuts through the whole thing. If something's in black, it's going to just engrave it by moving over it very quickly and just burning off the top layer of wood. So we want all of the lines that you see in front of you to be cut lines. To do that, I'm going to change them all to red before I do anything else. First thing I'm going to do, to find that thing, you're going to go up here to Object, and you're going to find the one that says Fill and Stroke, and click on it. On the right-hand side, it'll open up this menu, the Fill and Stroke menu. Fill is the color on the inside. So for example, if I were to click for fill, I would click on a solid color here of black. It would fill it all in with black. That's a terrible idea. Let's not do it. I'm going to click the X to get rid of a fill. I'm going to go over to the stroke pane, and this is the line around the object. This is the one we want to deal with. We're going to click on a solid color right here. Your color may not be RGB. It might be one of these other ones. If it is, click on the RGB and go to RGB color. You should have 4 boxes just like this, and take the red all the way up to red. The laser will only cut a red line that's 255, maximum red, 0 green, and 0 blue. If this says 254, the laser will ignore the line and not cut it. Super frustrating, but it's just how life is. So make sure it says 255, 0, 0, and 100 here. All right, now that we have the lines all red, our cut lines all red, we need to break these pieces apart and just put them on the laser bed, which is this white space down here we resized. To do this, we're going to click on it so you have it highlighted like this and do Control-Shift-G over and over again until down here at the bottom it says no groups to ungroup. So we know we've ungrouped everything. Click off on the side here to deselect everything. And I'm going to take this top piece and just move it down here out of the way for now. And watch what happens when I move this next piece. So these are the holes the magnets are going to go into. If I just try and grab it and move it, well gosh, I leave the holes behind. That's no good. It's going to. I don't have any holes to put magnets in, so I'm going to do Control-Z. What I don't want to do is try and grab the holes and line them up by eye. Everything's got to be lined up perfectly. So before I move this piece, because it has some pieces in the middle, I'm going to hold down Control and zoom in on it by rolling the mouse ball. I'm going to draw a box around all of the circles and the object. That highlights all of them, selects all of them, and I'm going to do Control-G with no shift to group them back together again. Now when I zoom out, I can actually move this piece. Whoops. I can grab this piece and move it, and it moves with the circles. Awesome. I'm going to do the same thing. These 3 pieces don't need it because there's no interior little pieces to them. So I'm just going to get them out of the way real quick. And now this one has all these interior lines to it. So I'm going to actually drag a box around the whole thing like this, and then Control-G to group them back together into one group. Awesome. Now this obviously won't fit onto the laser cutting machine in this direction, so all I need to do is rotate it 90 degrees to the left. So I'm going to come up here to this button, I'm going to have it selected, and then rotate it to the left. And I'm just going to put it right on there. Awesome. And then I'm going to take this piece, and actually the grain on the plywood runs left to right, and I kind of want that to run left to right on here as well. So you know what? I don't know. Because right now this is going to go, let me rotate this so you can see it. It's going to go like right here on the lid. So maybe I want it in this direction so it has the same plywood. So the grain's going in the same direction on the plywood on the top and the thing. This could be sideways or vertical like this, however you want it. The rest of these pieces, I do want them sideways. You don't have to. You can try it the other way. It's just which way the grain is going to go. And I'm going to put them down here. Now you can notice that mine is snapping to stuff, and it makes it really hard to position things because it just snaps to them. To turn off snap, right up here in the top right up here, go here and then uncheck enable snapping. When you do that, now you can get it really close and it won't just like jump to the next thing. So I'm just going to do this and line everything up best I can. I just want a little bit of space in between them. I don't want them touching because these are going to be the laser cut lines. I don't want those cut lines to overlap. And then just keep stacking things in, making sure I'm keeping them in the white space, which is where the laser is going to cut. Awesome. Well, that looks fantastic. The only thing is, I want to decorate these. This one right here is, I noticed right here, is upside down. So this one notch down here in the bottom, this is the top piece of it. And this is the bottom of the box. So I'm actually going to rotate this one twice to get it back around that way, and that one's this way. And I think I'm going to write some words on the two ends of the box. So to do that, I'm just going to come here and grab the text tool. I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to put some words in. So maybe I'm going to say KHS Engineering and Robotics. Cool. And let's see. Maybe I'll put the year on there as well. I'll put over here, I'll say, what is it? 2022/2023. Probably not a good sign. I couldn't remember what year it was. And then I clicked over here on this arrow tool, which instead, so now instead of inputting text, I can just move things around, reposition them, and size them up. Now notice how it's growing vertically and horizontally. That gives you a lot of fun control over it. I'm gonna let go of it and do Control Z to undo that. Or if you come up here to the top and you hit this little lock icon here, now it'll grow horizontally and vertically at the same rate. So if I grab the corner now, I can't stretch it awkwardly. It just grows sort of in both directions at the same time. I think that looks pretty good. Control bold. If I double click on it, I can get back in there and type new stuff. Let me make sure I spell this right. Engineering and Robotics. So easy to misspell things when you're doing this work. The other thing I can do is I can come up here and choose between a ton of different fonts. So you can play around with fonts and sizes and all kinds of cool stuff. And in fact, in here, I want to highlight everything. I'm going to change the point, because it's like 32 point something weird, to just regular 32. That way I can match the size of the font over here. I can change this 22 to 32 and hit enter. Go back to my arrow tool and just move stuff around. At this point, you're just being creative. All right. Now that's cool for the end pieces, but now I want to put a picture in this area right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the internet and find something that I like that's interesting to me. Now, not all pictures work well. Remember, the laser is either burning an image or not burning an image, so it's kind of like an on or off. For example, this image in the background here would be terrible, because what it's going to do, it's going to burn wherever it sees something dark, and it's dark everywhere. It can't tell the difference between green and purple, just looking for dark stuff. What we're looking for are images of, let's see, I love trees. I think I'm gonna search for elephants. I haven't done an elephant yet. Elephant. And I'm gonna go to images. And so this would be a terrible picture, because the dark blue of the background here would print as black, and it would be a black elephant on the dark black. What we're looking for is something like this, where the background is all white behind the elephant. Now, to find a picture like that is really unusual. This one might work okay because it's really light gray. Better yet, the better thing that I found to look for is go to filter. Is this Yahoo? Yeah, this is Yahoo image search. So I think it's named something similar on Google. Go here to color, or type, I should say, and you're looking for like line drawing. Try that. And these are a little too goofy for my taste. Although that one's pretty cool. I like that one. That one's pretty cool. Okay, that's the winner. I like this one. So what you're looking for is something that's simple shapes on a white background and a dark foreground. The other thing you could search for is, how about elephant tattoos? Because tattoos are often black and white as well. And oh, now we're getting somewhere. That's pretty cool. I kind of dig these. Okay, the hard part's just choosing, right? So I wouldn't choose this one, even though I love it, because it has a gray background and a gray foreground. I really want something with a white background, and you'll see why in just a second. I think, oh, which one am I gonna do? Ooh, this one. Winner. So I click on this one. I like this one. I don't like those little 2 ones there. I want one just by itself, not that one. A little too simple. I like some of the other ones better. Okay, baby elephant it is. I'm just going to take this one, although I want to keep looking forever. Huh. It's not showing up white anymore. That's super weird. Okay, this one showed up. So I'm going to use this one. Once I see the picture here, I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to do copy image. I'm going to go back to Inkscape. And I'm just going to do Control V for paste. And it's going to paste it right here somewhere in the middle. Doesn't matter how big it is right now. I'm going to play around with size in just a second. And what I want to do is I want to convert this right now. You can see it's blocking everything. I want to convert this to a black and white image, not like a gray image at all. To do that, I'm going to come up here to path, and I'm going to say trace bitmap. That's going to bring up this side feature here. And I'm going to make sure it says brightness cutoff. And what this means is the threshold, anything darker than that 0.45 threshold is going to be turned to completely black. Anything lighter than that is going to turn to gray. So I'm going to put this at 0.45 and just try it. I'm going to do apply down here and give it a second to do its magic. And now it's done. I can actually drag it off. This is the image that I just created from this image. And that looks pretty good. Now this image was already all black and white. I don't see really many grays in there. Although there's a little bit, notice that there is a little bit of detail missing in through here. See how these are all just dots? There's a little bit of detail, weird detail that's missing in there. If I play around with this value, I can make it larger or smaller. It's gonna make more stuff show up or less stuff show up. You just gotta play around to get something that looks good. Take your time on this. It's worth taking a little time on it. Now the one I wanna keep is this one here with the invisible background like this. So I'm gonna click on this one and delete. Yeah, oh, actually let me show you one thing before I delete. If I zoom in on this picture, watch as I zoom in, see how it gets super blurry like that? That's not good for the laser to cut. Because when it gets here to the edges, it doesn't know what to do with that. But on this other one that I just created, watch this. I can zoom forever on it, and it never gets blurry. It's always able to it's always able to make it perfectly crisp. So that's why we create this with this trace bitmap command, so we can get something that's perfectly crisp no matter how far we go in. Now I'm going to delete the old one. I don't need it anymore. And I'm going to resize this one to the bottom of the box. Remember, this is the bottom of the box. And I'm going to bring it in like this. You know what? I might even turn this sideways. That might be cool. Let me do that. Yeah, that's what I want. Just like that. And that's going to print on the bottom of my box, which is pretty cool. But I also want to put something on this tab here. And instead of showing, well, let me show you one more picture just so you can see what a not so crisp one looks like. Let's do up here, let's change this from line drawing to all. And let's change the color. So filter, color to black and white. Let's say I wanted to grab something. Oh, it's going to have a lot of skin. Let me turn the tattoo part off. And let's say I wanted to grab something like this, right? I've got a pretty good limited background here. I'm going to grab this one, I think. And you'll be able to see the copy image. And then go to Inkscape, and I'm just going to paste that image. It might be really big. It was pretty big. And you can see now with a 0.514 setting, see how much I'm getting? Wherever it's black, the laser's going to cut. Wherever it's not going to cut. So if I change this down some, less and less of it is going to make it above that threshold. So it's going to more be white than black. And the higher up I go, the more things it makes black. The more of this gray gets turned to black. So you can see how difficult this image is going to be to work with. That's probably the best I can get. I'm going to do apply real quick. It's going to overlay that onto this image, and I can drag it off and see what it looks like to me. I can grab it here and drag it off to the side and say, is that something I want? And my answer to this one probably is, no, that doesn't look very nice. I'm not going to be able to tell what this is with all this just big black blobby part for the elephant. So you can see how difficult it might be to kind of find a good image. And let's see, ooh, this one might be really good. Let's do this one. Yes, please. What I like about this is it's really light everywhere and then dark for the elephant. So I'm going to right click and copy image. And now I'm going to take that over into thing. I think I can get a good one out of this one. Control V to paste it. And then, oh, look how well that turned out. Yeah, that's nice. I might go a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Ooh, I don't like the back disappears so much. Oh no. Okay, wait, that was a little bit much. Okay, I'm going to apply that and see what it looks like. Drag it off to the side. You know what? That's my picture. I can't spend any more time on this project. So I'm going to take this. I actually want to rotate it sideways as well. And then I'm just going to shrink it down so that it fits onto this piece really nicely, like that. Woohoo! So now I've got it ready to go. I've got all my things set up. Next thing I need to do is I'm going to do File, Save As. And I should have saved earlier because if something would have happened, I would have lost all my work. I'm going to do this PC. You're going to find your E and R one. I'm going to go to Google Drive, My Drive, Engineering One, Fusion 360, Pencil Case. And then here I'm going to call this Pencil Case. And instead of DXF now, I'm going to call this Cut Lines. This is a new file type called SVG. This is what the computer actually prints, or the laser actually cuts. And I'm going to hit save. Ooh, this was a long video. I apologize. All right, so that's decorating and playing around. Do what you'd like. Make it look as cool as you want. My suggestion is to spend a lot of time on this and really make it look something interesting. Add stuff to it. You can find a video on how to use the laser cutter in the section below. Best of luck to you. Cut it and see what it looks like.